and folks in Whitaker Borough are in the same shape. Also, police, PennDOT, and Turnpike phone operators say they are being overwhelmed by the volume of phone calls, so please only call with emergencies.
Well, some folks are making the best of all of this snow. We caught up with these folks outside of Findlay Township. They were taking advantage of the day. Hey, if you can't get your car dug out, why not try another mode of transportation? Snowmobiling may be the only way to go in a storm like this.
Four-wheel drive does help.
Boy, if I only knew somebody with a four-wheel drive to help me get home.
I was a taxi today.
I bet you were.
That's our 5 o'clock report. As always, thanks for joining us.
Well, Don Cannon is in the newsroom now with our 5:30 report. Don.
Yeah, thank you, Sally and Scott. More storm coverage coming up in this half hour tonight. The most challenging job of the day is keeping the roads clear. We'll check the status of that problem. And later, the Clinton administration pushing for more condom ads on television. But up first, at 5:30 this Tuesday, we thank you very much for being with us and hope that you and yours are safe and warm this storm day. It's the same story all over western Pennsylvania tonight. The blizzard of 94 and how to dig out from under it. If you weren't outside today, there's a glimpse here of what people had to deal with. This videotape was taken in our parking lot here at Channel 4 just a while ago. People's cars buried in snow, plus an all-out effort to make them mobile once again. But if you lived in a town today where nobody showed up to plow the streets, call it a stroke of bad timing, if you will, or bad luck. Either way, it spells inconvenience for Union Township. The road crews there went on strike at midnight last night as the area was just beginning to be pelted by the storm. But the town is coping somehow, and Jack Martin reports.
This blizzard could not have come at a worse time for Union Township. Most of the road crew was manning a picket line today instead of their plows.
We have been negotiating 4 times.
They decided to strike last night when negotiations fell through, leaving the township in a lurch.
It's crippled us a little bit.
And forced township supervisors like Don Owens in the driver's seat to hold Mother Nature at bay enough to make the roads passable for emergencies. But these policemen wonder if it's a battle they can win.
It's hard to keep up with this. This is coming too fast.
The strikers, meantime, say they'll renegotiate right now for better benefits and wages.
We're not overly paid.
$12.46 an hour.
$12.46 an hour, and you would have been...
I've been here 24 years.
So with this kind of weather, it's good timing for them. Is it going to impact your negotiations with them?
You know, without putting a fiscal strain on our budget here, so I'd have to say that, you know, we're still dealing with them in good faith, but, you know, we have our limitations as a township.
It's up to them now.
With no new negotiations scheduled, there appears to be no end in sight for the strike, although township officials are hoping to see the end of the snow fairly soon. If not, this could wind up being the best way to get around this town. But big-time relief is on the way. Officials there appealed to Congressman Austin Murphy to get the township declared a disaster area. At last word, PennDOT was moving in to help clear the roads and streets there. In the meantime, the strike continues. Live in the newsroom, I'm Jack Martin. Don, back to you.
Okay, thanks very much, Jack. And of course, PennDOT is pulling out all of the stops to try to keep our state roads plowed today. Some 2,000 state-owned plows and blowers are attacking the interstates and the most heavily traveled highways first. PennDOT also has contracts with hundreds of private companies to work on those secondary and rural roads. Amtrak is having problems as well in the Northeast today. Ice tore down power lines between New York and Newark, New Jersey this morning, stranding some 15,000 passengers in the Washington to Boston corridor, as well as the New Jersey transit lines, the commuter lines. A drawbridge froze between Manhattan and the Bronx, causing 2-hour delays there on trips from New York to Albany. And in Philadelphia today, a SEPTA trolley jumped the rails this morning as it rounded a curve, injuring 9 people, none seriously, luckily. SEPTA officials aren't sure yet if weather was the cause of that accident. Pat buses got out of the lots today, but after that it was pretty tough going, as you can see here. These buses, 2 in a row, got stuck on a hill in Wilkinsburg, causing a huge traffic backup for a good part of the afternoon. Pretty much the same all over town. There were delays for those who had the courage to venture out and even ride the buses today. One more note we should mention. In townships Moon, Monessen, Monroeville, Castle Shannon, Murraysville, they've all declared a snow emergency. This means that all vehicles should be off the roads in those municipalities that include parked cars. And police and PennDOT and Turnpike phone operators say they're being overwhelmed by the volume of telephone calls. So please, if you live in those boroughs or townships, it can be a penalty of up to $65 if your car is left on the road in violation of those ordinances. Well, obviously, A lot of closings tonight, as we expect. Many schools and businesses simply shut down tomorrow as well. Let's check in with Scott Baker in the newsroom, monitoring who's open and who's not. I guess the Knots win it today, Scott.
I guess they do. In fact, Don, it might be easier just to say who's, who is open. It'd probably be a list of about 2 sentences. But we're going to do this in 3 sections. We'll do 1 section now, and about 10 minutes later we'll give you some more. And then toward the end of this half hour, we'll have a 3rd segment. Let's start this list with some of the important closings that we do know about. All of the senior centers in the city of Pittsburgh and all city parks and recreation centers are closed. Many libraries are closed, including the main Carnegie Library and all branches of the Northland Public Libraries. The following technical schools and universities are closed: Carnegie Mellon, California University, Carlow College, CCAC, the Community College of Beaver County, Computer Tech, the Institute of Culinary Arts, the Dean Institute of Technology, DePaul Institute, Duquesne Electronic Institute, LaRoche College, the University of Pittsburgh Graduate School of Business, Penn State McKeesport, Penn State New Kensington, Point Park College, Washington Institute of Technology, Waynesburg College, West Virginia University. Okay, let's move on from the schools to the malls. The following malls are shut down, no shopping going on: South Hills Village, Ross Park, Century 3, the Galleria, Monroeville, you saw that in Yvonne's piece earlier, Greengate, Westmoreland, and Village Square. All of the Horn stores and PNC banks, no matter where they are closed. Also closed today, the Aviary, the Pittsburgh Zoo. The animals are probably enjoying the snow, and the Phipps Conservatory closed. The Carnegie Museum and the Science Center, and the Shenley Park skating rink is closed. Can't skate very well on top of the snow. So that's our first segment of closings done. We'll be back a little bit later on with some more. We'll go back to you now for the latest on the storm.
Okay, thanks very much, Scott. Now, a warning tonight for mobile homeowners from the Butler County Emergency Management Agency. It deals with folks who may have furnace problems or may expect them over the next day or so. Servicemen are being overwhelmed, as you might expect, with calls tonight. Most of the problems are resulting from a snow buildup on the furnace fresh air intake. Now, most of those are normally located on the mobile home roof, so residents are asked to make sure those intakes are clear of snow. If not, your furnace simply will not work. We've taken a number of calls from local fire chiefs throughout the day here at WTAE TV. They want you to take a couple of minutes, if you will, and clear the snow away from hydrants that may be close to your home. It'll only take a couple of minutes to do this, and it could be a big difference if a fire should break out in the next day or so. The snow, of course, is pelting much of the East Coast tonight. Near Scranton, it's not creating as much trouble as it is here. In fact, the folks there say they're pretty much accustomed to conditions like these. While travel was difficult on the main arteries, stores and businesses in Scranton remained open. In New Jersey, they're getting it all. First of all, snow, then it turned to sleet, then back to snow, making driving in the Garden State very treacherous from top to bottom. In Westchester, New York, the storm hit, making the roads hazardous but passable. Folks there were prepared for more snow than they actually got, and apparently having some fun in Westchester County as well. A windy winter blast hits Colorado. This is a different storm, though, by the way. 8 to 10 inches of new snow out there from a different weather system. Wind, lots of it. In fact, they're so strong, the winds, that most of the snow is being whipped up before it actually hits the ground, making for serious blizzard conditions throughout the state of Colorado. Now, the question is that coming our way? And here with the answer, and a lot more things, is Joe in the Weather Center. Joe.
Well, Donald, we won't have to worry about that for at least the next 36-hour period. Let's get rid of this first snowstorm. High today was 29 degrees, and right now at International Airport, we're 24. Our low thus far has been 23. As you go southeast, Uniontown, Ligonier, 25. Garrett County, Maryland, picked up 20 inches of snow. They're 21 degrees, 27 at Clarksburg, 25 at Wheeling-Weirton. As you go north, they're colder. St. Mary's, 20. Warren, 18 degrees. Canton, 24. Here's the latest satellite picture right now. You can see this band of cloud cover through our area. But as you go up north, it starts to get a little more intense with some moisture. Low pressure center is southeastern New York State. Very windy along the coastline and inland around this low. Right along the coastline, it's rain. Inland, it goes to snow. And then in the higher elevations, moderate to heavy snow. And that'll be the case overnight, where they're looking for anywhere from 1 foot to 1.5 feet as this storm continues to move northeastward. Meanwhile, here in our area, it's back to a light snow condition, at least in Allegheny County. Still some moderate snows occurring in eastern Fayette Lafayette County, central Westmoreland County, and Indiana County, and southeastern Armstrong. That'll continue to move off to the east, ending from the west. And in terms of how much snow we actually received, Bridgeville had 22.3 inches of snow, generally down in southeast, central, and Washington County, central eastern Greene County.